I never saw it coming. 3 years ago, I watched my parents get completely ruined by ruthless business rivals right in front of me. 3 years later, it whatever it took to marry into that exact family. But post-wedding, a wife gives me nothing but cold shoulders. It is not exactly love, but not pure hatred either. Meanwhile, her precious first love just keeps provoking me over and over again. Her friends mock and absolutely humiliate me. And yet, just for her sake, I have nearly lost my dignity 3 separate times. She laughs, calling me completely shameless, claiming that no matter how horribly she treats me, I will never actually pack up and leave. She is totally right. Until I finally get my grand payback, I'm absolutely not walking away from her. Everything I do is just waiting for the Liu family grandfather to finally return from his medical treatments abroad, with my completely incurable condition ticking down fast. This is my one and only shot at real revenge. Next Monday, the old man comes back to see me. Walking out of the estate, I do not even care about the serious burns from my mother-in-law, tossing, scorching hot soup all over me. Suddenly, a sharp voice rings out right in front of me, lighting up my eyes. Now get a load of her reaction. Maybe I sounded way too excited, because Liu Ruyan looks up from her phone, shoots me a glaring look, and scoffs. You really think my grandfather accepting you stops this divorce? She lets out this pretty cold sneer, bans me from the driver's seat, and drags me straight to a bakery. Look at this place. She already dismissed all the staff, leaving every single baking ingredient perfectly prepared and ready to go. She grabs my wrist and shoves me out of the car. Her precious guy wants cake, and she sent me the design. If I cannot bake it, I shouldn't bother coming home. Mak Kai Bao, Liu Ruyan's glorious first love, who also happens to hold the title of her brave lifesaver. The very first time she and Mak Kai Bao visited the hospital for a checkup, they ran straight into a massive medical dispute. A frantic patient rushed in with a blade, and she reflexively shielded her precious guy, shoving me aside. Sadly, the wild attacker tossed me away, and the sharp weapon pierced right into her stomach. She completely fainted, red pouring out everywhere. Mak Kai Bao lost all color in his face, totally abandoning her as he turned and sprinted away. I panicked. If something awful happened to Liu Ruyan, my chance to meet her grandfather Liu Wei would vanish forever. So I just threw myself right into the chaos. The frantic patient's blade plunged right into my body. The cops eventually arrived, and I got rushed straight into the ICU ward. What did Liu Ruyan do after that? She woke up, dragged me right out of my hospital bed, totally ignoring my fresh weeping injuries, and forced me to cook for him. She barked that Kai Bao saved her life and felt terribly weak, so I had to cook for him immediately. I completely froze, offering zero explanations. Mak Kai Bao had secretly bought off every single witness, and she flat out refused to believe a word I said. She always just viewed me as some greedy guy trying to strike it rich through marriage. I cannot deny my entire life is driven by revenge. So I honestly never bothered exposing that coward for faking his heroic savior act. Pushing my battered body to the limit, I made 3 pots of soup for him, but he intentionally spilled every single one. Right as I started the 4th, crimson started dripping continuously from my nose, a clear sign of my incurable condition. I just wiped it away casually, but Liu Ruyan suddenly grabbed my wrist, her eyes flashing with a rare hint of emotion. Deep fam, do you really love me that much, to the point you obey my every command? I just gave a soft smile, staying totally silent. But carrying out that 4th pot, my absolute limits were reached. I collapsed hard to the ground, the boiling liquid severely burning my entire calf. The injuries were just too severe. I seriously could not stand back up. Only then did she finally drop the whole catering to Mak Kai Bao nonsense. You would think that changes things, right? The second time, a massive company fire broke out. Braving the suffocating smoke, I risked everything to carry an unconscious Liu Ruyan to safety. During the escape, a glowing red iron beam smashed into my back. Yet when she finally woke up, she just heavily mocked me again. She accused me of staging the whole dramatic rescue, claiming I even faked my horrible scars. Leaning against Mak Kai Bao's shoulder, her eyes were filled with absolute heartbreak. She told me to stop wasting my pathetic efforts, insisting Mak Kai Bao was her true savior. I knew I had zero energy left to argue back. Right after that, she tossed a shiny divorce paper straight at my face, demanding I sign it quickly so she could give him a proper status. I completely refused, gritting my teeth as I declared I needed this husband title and would never divorce. My defiance only earned me even heavier, crueler abuse from Liu Ruyan. Inside this freezing bakery with zero heating, I am completely soaked. shivering uncontrollably, with absolutely purple lips. Coughing softly, a disturbing crimson stain spreads across my palm. Liu Ruyan, leaning against the doorframe, typing away, notices and immediately scowls. Are you actually stupid? She snaps that if I am cold, I should just shower instead of playing the victim. She mocks my condition, asking if I think this is some dramatic soap opera. She roughly shoves me into the bathroom, cranks the shower all the way up, and blasts scalding hot water directly onto my head. The intense heat offers a brief second of relief, but then my fresh burns and impact wounds flare up, plunging me into absolutely pure, unbearable torment. More crimson drips steadily from my nose, mixing with my open injuries until the bathtub water turns completely red. She yells out, "Do you still dare impersonate my brave lifesaver?" Seeing me curled up on the floor in absolute agony, Liu Ruyan just tosses the shower head aside and glares down at me with pure, icy contempt. Gasping heavily, clutching my weeping injuries, while looking like a complete, miserable wreck, I finally snap and fire back a single question. Have you ever actually seen the injuries on his body? Our intense argument ultimately crashes to a halt, completely shut down by Liu Ruyan's absolute lack of patience. She storms right back to the car, carelessly tossing a set of men's clothing straight at me. The perfume on these clothes is so familiar. It belongs to Mick KBO. I do not even ask why she always keeps his clothes ready in her car. I just put them on in complete silence, then go straight back to making the cake. The reference picture for this cake, a literal selfie of Mick KBO. After 4 grueling hours of hard work, I finally finish the cake. Lu Nhyn smiles brightly, sending a quick voice message over to Mick KBO. I will bring the cake right home, she says, turning back to look at me. Her voice still carries that smile. Your skills really are not bad at all. Oh, they definitely are not bad. I tightly clench my fists right at my sides. While they were alive, my parents never spared any effort raising me. My hands were meant for playing the violin. Highly flexible fingers, incredible artistic talent. Yet here I am lowering myself to bake cakes. The car drives straight home. The moment we open the door, Mick KBO is already waiting there. His pet dog instantly starts barking at me non-stop. In the past, this exact same dog actually bit my calf, right on his command. Purely out of self-defense, I smashed a vase on it. Mick KBO hugged his dog, looking absolutely heartbroken. And Lu Nhyn, she forced me to crawl on the floor and bark like a dog for 2 whole hours. I lower my eyes as he snatches the cake away. Mick KBO glances at me, noticing I am wearing his clothes, and pure disgust flashes right through his eyes. The very next second, he drops the cake straight into the dog bowl. Eat up. THC, here's your absolute favorite. Lu Nhyn sighs helplessly. Why are you feeding THC again? I just do not feel like eating today. So could you wait in the room? Without even waiting for my reaction, Lu Nhyn turns and walks away. The moment that door shuts, Mick KBO swings a heavy punch right at my face. Who told you to wear my clothes? I immediately grab his wrist, my eyes completely ice cold. You should go ask Lu Nhyn about that. You really should not provoke me. I forcefully shove his hand away, planning to head inside and treat my wounds. But pay close attention here. A sudden crash of shattering glass echoes behind me, followed by Mick KBO screaming in absolute agony. The glass coffee table lies totally smashed on the floor. Mick KBO is sitting right in the shards, his arm sliced open and bleeding heavily. Lu Nhyn throws the door open, sees the bloody scene, and screams furiously. Nhyn, I did not do anything. Dip PHM pushed me. Mick KBO cries out, his face pale, playing the complete victim. Lu Nhyn glares at me, shoving me so hard my back slams into the table edge. The pain is so sharp. Cold sweat breaks out. How dare you treat Mick KBO like this? Let me tell you right now, Dip PHM, you and I are completely finished. Whether you agree or not, I will absolutely divorce you, and I will take this to court if I must. No, reply. I simply cannot get a divorce. I grit my teeth tight, watching Lu Nhyn gently hug Mick KBO. They carefully walk out the door. Ignoring my own injuries, I scramble to my feet, clutching the voice recorder tightly, and immediately chase after them. I take a cab straight to the hospital. After taking one really deep breath, I push the door open. My mother-in-law is sitting by the bed, carefully feeding porridge to Mick KBO. Seeing me, she instantly grabs my arm, forcing me down to apologize to Mick KBO. You absolute bastard, you almost killed my wonderful son-in-law. I look over at Lu Nhyn, calmly sitting there without a single reaction. Gritting my teeth, I dropped to my knees without hesitation. I am sorry, Mr. Mick, please forgive me. Back when Mick KBO falsely accused me, Lu Nhyn treated me exactly like this too. Anything to avoid a divorce. Now get down and kowtow to Mick KBO a few times, she barks. By this point, I have fully learned how to endure it. Right in front of all three, I smash my head down until I bleed. Mick KBO puts on a fake pathetic look for Lu Nhyn. I really do not want to see him. Lu Nhyn immediately drags me right out of there. People are walking back and forth down the hospital corridor. Everyone giving me weird stares. I beg you, please do not divorce me. Throwing away all my pride, I desperately plead with Lu Nhyn. She starts to say something, but then stops, sounding completely frustrated. Dip PHM, after the divorce, I will give you a pretty decent share of the assets. Why do you insist on clinging to the title of my husband? I give no answer, only repeating I am begging you, please do not do this. The very last bit of patience in Lu Nhyn's eyes completely disappears. She swings her arm and violently pushes me away. Fine, very well. Let us see how long you can keep this up. You are naturally shameless, so if you refuse to divorce, stay kneeling right here. Do not move until Mick KBO calms down. After saying that, she slams the door shut. I stay kneeling right outside the hospital room. Watch this carefully. Well, look who it is. Our dear Mr. Dip. A familiar voice rings out. It is the mutual friends of Lu Nhyn and Mick KBO. Carrying baskets of fruit and supplements, they walk over with totally mocking smiles. If Mick had not gone abroad, a boot-licking dog like you never would have gotten promoted. Now that the real guy is back, why are you still hanging around? You really have absolutely zero shame. They take turns mocking me. One of them even pulls my shirt back, sees the fresh wound on my back, and gasps in absolute shock. Is there really someone who tortures himself just to make fake scars? I remain kneeling in total silence, not saying a single word. Seeing no reaction, they quickly lose interest, kick me one good time, and walk inside. Soon after, the sounds of cheerful laughter start echoing from the room. I have no idea how much time passes, only that I kneel there from morning until night. My head feels unbearably heavy. Finally, unable to hold on, I pass out completely. A warm pair of arms suddenly embraces me. When I wake up again, I am back inside my own bedroom. Lu Nhyn sits by the bed, visibly anxious. When I finally wake up, her face twists into a harsh mix of anger and disappointment. She demands to know if I really want to avoid divorce that badly. People treat me like garbage, yet I do nothing to fight back. My wounds got infected and triggered a massive fever. I have been out cold for 3 whole days. Forcing myself up, I manage a weak smile at her. I cannot divorce her, not because I do not want to, but because I literally cannot. Lu Nhyn clearly takes this the wrong way. Her eyes lock onto me with this complicated stare. She opens her mouth to speak, but Mick KBO suddenly lets out a piercing scream downstairs. He sprints up the stairs, wildly chased by a woman gripping a knife. It is the exact same woman who came in for medical treatment earlier. Lu Nhyn instinctively throws herself in front of Mick KBO. Whether it is her conscience acting up or something else, she actually does not use me as a shield this time. I notice the crazy woman keeps her eyes locked entirely on Mick KBO. Deep down, I already start putting the messy pieces of this puzzle together. Now watch this closely. Sure enough, the very next second, she plunges that knife straight into Lu Nhyn. Lu Nhyn twists her wrist, knocking the weapon away. Struggling to stand, she grits her teeth and demands to know why. They hold no grudges against her, so why do this? The woman shrieks, grabbing the blade and lunging forward again. Mick KBO violently shakes in absolute terror, hiding himself right behind his protector. She aims another vicious stab right at Lu Nhyn. I cannot just stand there and watch, so I recklessly dive in and tackle her around the waist. Still fully conscious, Lu Nhyn sees me throwing my life on the line and screams out, "Are you crazy?" Suddenly, every horrible thing she ever did to me flashes right through her mind. She once dragged me to a sketchy parlor just to ruin my reputation. She forced me to wash her friend's feet. She made me stand in the freezing rain all day, loudly mocking me for being completely pathetic and unable to survive on my own. She knew exactly how horribly her mother treated me. She watched that awful woman torture me with needles and just played dumb, hoping I would finally take the hint and beg for a divorce. Married for barely a year, and my body is already covered in nasty scars. yet somehow, this frail, battered frame of mine is still desperately trying to shield her from harm. Lu Nhyn prepares to charge and subdue the attacker, but right at that exact moment, Mick KBO violently yanks her arm back. He begs her to take him away from the intense danger. The knife just keeps tearing into my flesh, turning my blood freezing cold. Yet I forcefully hold onto my slipping consciousness through sheer willpower alone. I absolutely cannot die yet. I need my revenge. Mick KBO desperately clings to her, and her eyes show real hesitation. He whines about being completely terrified, loudly reminding her he already saved her twice before, crying that if they do not run now, he definitely will not survive this nightmare. Those cowardly words actually manage to jolt her awake. Without any hesitation, she drags him away, yelling out that she is going to get security. She tells me to hold on just a little longer as my vision starts blurring. Right then, the woman violently shoves me backward, my entire body absolutely drenched in blood. Seeing Mick KBO trying to escape, the crazy woman wildly screams out, "Did you catch that wild twist?" She screams he cannot leave because he is her actual husband. That confession freezes everyone dead in their tracks. Mick KBO turns pale while she shrieks like a maniac, sobbing that he lied, he married her, and he cannot just walk away. Suddenly, everyone realizes her true target this entire time was actually Mick KBO. Lu Nhyn stops hesitating and charges straight at her. Since she actually trained in martial arts, she effortlessly pins the raging woman down in seconds. When security finally arrives, she immediately hands the attacker over for the police. Gripping my bleeding wounds, she frantically calls for help to get both me and Mick KBO straight to the hospital. I lose almost all my consciousness, having absolutely no idea how long I was out. It is only when I feel a soft warmth touching my fingertips that I finally start waking up. Opening my eyes, I see Lu Nhyn sitting right beside my bed, looking like she has not slept in days. Seeing me awake, she instantly hits the nurse call button. I waste zero time and ask the only thing that matters right now. How long have I been asleep? She looks over at Tio Tai and answers 5 whole days. I immediately ask if Grandpa has arrived yet. Nodding, she explains, he came, but went back home to wait, since I was still unconscious. Hearing that, I quietly let out a sigh of relief. This means my grand plan can finally go into action. Right then, the doctor walks in for a checkup, his eyes looking incredibly awkward. I instantly tell Lu Nhyn to step outside. Since she wants to visit Mick KBO anyway, she leaves without asking a single question. The doctor lets out a heavy sigh. He asks why I keep torturing my own body when I am already dealing with late-stage stomach cancer. I simply shake my head. I have zero intention of getting treatment, and he absolutely cannot tell my wife. He tries to offer more advice, but I just turn my face away in complete silence. Once I recover enough to walk, I immediately handle my own hospital discharge papers. Out in the hallway, I bump into Mick KBO. He is trembling in pure panic. Pointing a shaky finger at me, he violently sobs about how completely terrified he is. He cries that he is scared that crazy woman will hunt him down again. It is obviously his own messy debt, yet he is forcing me to take the fall. I suddenly realize Lu Nhyn looks absolutely furious, tightly gripping a stack of photos. Walking straight toward me, she aggressively slams the entire pile of pictures right into my face. The photos scatter everywhere. Struggling with my injuries, I crouch down to pick them up. The pictures show me and that exact same crazy woman hugging each other incredibly intimately. I have absolutely zero memory of the stranger in my entire life, which obviously proves one thing. These photos are completely faked. Lu Nhyn tightly grips my shoulder, viciously screaming that I was married to that woman and actually dared to lie to her. Her emotions are spiraling way out of control, hitting a level of extreme agitation even she never expected. She clearly could have used this chance to cut all ties and finalize our divorce instantly. And yet, after watching me risk my life to protect her, she just cannot bring herself to do it. That photo isn't me. If you have even a tiny shred of trust left, get the picture analyzed and see if it's photoshopped. I lock eyes with Mick KBO. The guy is always framing people with dirty tricks, but the only way to keep a secret is to never do the crime at all. His face goes completely pale for a second. Then he steps up, hugs Lu Nhyn, and says weakly to just let it go. Making a big deal out of this wouldn't be good for me. Hearing that, Lu Nhyn just gets even more furious. She says he is always so kind, always thinking of others. Seeing Mick KBO act all self-righteous just makes me completely sick to my stomach. I tell them again, go get it analyzed. My voice is so firm. Lu Nhyn actually bursts into a sudden laugh. Fine, she says, we will analyze it. If the photo is real, we can get a divorce. I answer her right away without hesitation. My plan is about to kick off. As long as I can meet Lu Wei, I don't care about being Lu Nhyn's husband anymore. My quick answer leaves her stunned for a moment, but then she quickly grabs my hand. Grandpa wants to see you, she says. Come with me. Mick KBO tries to hold her back, but she just shakes his hand off. I ignore his absolutely hateful glare and walk right out of there with Lu Nhyn. In the luxurious hall, my mother-in-law scoffs coldly. She tells her dad there was no need to meet me, claiming one look at me proves I have zero manners. I clench my fists tight, seeing my enemy again after all these years. I want nothing more than to end him right here, but I just bite my tongue and smile. Grandpa Louis looks at me and slightly furrows his brow. He says I look really familiar, asking if we have crossed paths somewhere before. My heart practically jumps into my throat, but I try to hide it. My mother-in-law glares at me with pure disgust, drags me into a room, and raises her hand to slap me like she used to. But this time I grab her wrist tight and shove her straight to the floor. I warn her to stop messing with me. My stare is so incredibly cold it makes her freeze. But a second later, she is sitting on the floor wailing, crying about what kind of horrible son-in-law she got stuck with. How dare he lay a hand on his own mother-in-law, she screams. My heart is pounding. The plan is falling perfectly into place. Right on cue, Lu Nhyn and Louis rush over. Louis completely ignores his wailing daughter, stares right at me, and tells me to step outside with him for a second. Now, pay close attention here. A guy like Louis is deeply scheming and incredibly paranoid. To keep tabs on everyone, he was bound to find a moment to interrogate me. This little conflict between me and my mother-in-law was the exact catalyst I needed to make this moment happen sooner. Baby, one smooch on the left, one smooch on the right. A phone ringtone suddenly blares out. It is an absolutely ridiculous voice remix of Mick KBO. Lu Nhyn answers it, her voice instantly turning super gentle. Okay, she says, I will be right there. Wait for me. My mother-in-law, wanting to get away from me quickly, says she is coming too. So now, it is just me and Louis left in the room. I tell him I heard he loves collecting antiques and coincidentally, I have a few pieces I want him to see. Louis looks at me, his expression impossible to read. Alright, he says, take me to see them. The two of us get in the car, and I chat with him while driving. I mention they are things my father left behind. Hearing this, Louis' eyes show a hint of curiosity. Your father, he asks, aren't you an orphan? I give a faint smile, slam hard on the gas, and say I never was. It is because of you that I became an orphan. His face instantly drops color at those words. He looks at the mountain road, getting more and more twisted as the car speeds up. He raises his voice, demanding to know what I just said. I am the son of Dip Nhyn. The second I say that, he lunges forward and chokes me, trying to force me to stop the car, only to realize the brakes are completely dead. The car smashes right through the guardrail and plummets into the deep abyss. At that exact same moment, all the evidence I had scheduled to post starts spreading like absolute wildfire all over social media. My parents' revenge is finally complete, and it is time for my own personal revenge to come to an end too. Meanwhile, when Lu Nhyn arrives, the woman who was supposed to be locked up in the police station is standing right outside Mick KBO's room, banging on the door like a complete maniac. Open the door, you bastard, she screams. You are my husband, and you are not going anywhere. My mother-in-law is so terrified she hides in the car, totally afraid to step out. Lu Nhyn is just about to open the door when her phone rings. It is the photo analysis results. The report confirms everything. All the photos were completely photoshopped. CEO Liu tries to say something else on the other end, but Lu Nhyn isn't even listening anymore. Her very first reaction is pure joy, realizing I never actually betrayed her. She immediately calls the cops, then rushes downstairs and slaps that woman across the face as hard as she can. The woman stumbles back. The knife in her hand hits the floor, and Lu Nhyn swiftly kicks it away. She doesn't even try to fight back anymore, just bursts into this unhinged, crazy laughter. Ah, so you must be the brand new woman he's been flirting with, she sneers. This absolute bastard scammed me out of my money and ran off with someone else. Now, he's back just to ruin you. I am never going to let him get away with this. As long as I have breath in my lungs, I will not let him live a single peaceful day. Lu Nhyn thinks she is just speaking total nonsense and completely ignores her, knocking on Mick KBO's door to say he is safe now and can open up. The door quickly cracks open. Watch closely. Lu Nhyn is about to step inside, but suddenly hears that woman speak up. "I know you don't believe me," she says, "but that man has 3 connected moles on his back and another one on his left chest." Lu Nhyn freezes completely. Mick KBO desperately tries pulling her inside, but she violently shoves him off, her face turning incredibly dark. "What did you just say?" The haggard woman gives a cold laugh, asking if she wants to see the solid proof. Bound up tight, she is dragged over to the computer. She logs into her account and points her finger, telling Lu Nhyn to open a specific video folder right on her cloud drive. For Mak Kai-bao, his entire world is suddenly crashing down. He can't stop Lu Nhyn at all, forced to just stand there helplessly as every single corrupt video and leaked chat pops right up. Lu Nhyn punches the wall hard because those photos with my face photoshopped in. The originals are right there, clearly showing Mak Kai-bao's face. Every last word in those leaked videos is absolutely undeniable, shattering his innocent act for good. Back when they were still dating, Mak Kai-bao suddenly went abroad, tricking her into believing he was getting some serious medical treatment. She actually bought it, feeling so incredibly sorry for him that she even considered marrying the guy. And that is exactly why she tormented me endlessly. But right now, his voice loudly echoes from the video. "Of course, I love you the most, babe. Lu Nhyn's grandfather refuses to let me marry her, so what's the use of keeping her around? I love you, honey. Compared to you, Lu Nhyn means absolutely nothing to me." Lu Nhyn feels like an absolute clown right now, looking at her supposed pure love, a guy who has been with countless other women. Her heart just shatters into a million pieces. With his eyes rimmed red, Mak Kai-bao grabs her arm. He begs her, "I am so sorry, Nhyn. I was wrong and confused. I will behave from now on. Please believe me, I really love you." Lu Nhyn stares at his pale face, her intense anger softening just a tiny bit, still totally unsure what to say. Right then, a familiar figure steps up to the doorway. Mak Kai-bao intentionally rubs Lu Nhyn's belly, speaking loudly so the newcomer can hear him. "Plus, Nhyn, the doctor just told me you were carrying my baby. Let's just live a good life together." Lu Nhyn freezes up completely, somehow totally unaware that she is actually pregnant herself. Kai-bao happily hugs her tight, and at this exact moment, all the lingering anger in Lu Nhyn's heart just melts away. She sighs deeply. "I like you, so I can ignore your messy past. But you can never do this to me again." Mak Kai-bao nods endlessly, then quickly asks when she is finally going to marry him. Hearing that question, Lu Nhyn suddenly thinks about me, feeling a sharp, bitter pang. She realizes she actually does not want to divorce me anymore at all. But looking right at Mak Kai-bao's face, and remembering how he supposedly saved her life twice, she blurts out, "I am divorcing him very soon. I only love you." Right then, the local police arrive, getting ready to escort the crazy woman away. Hearing that, the woman bursts out laughing. "You are so ridiculous, rejecting a guy who loves you so much just to pick this useless trash. Now pay attention. Here's where the truth finally spills out. The first time I attacked and you fainted, this coward turned and ran. Your husband took those vicious stabs just to protect you." Those brutal words hit like a lightning strike, leaving Lu Nhyn frozen in place, her face going totally pale. She asks what the woman just said. That single line rips Mak Kai-bao's web of lies right to shreds. He shakes his head in pure panic, begging Lu Nhyn not to listen, but she pushes him away, stubbornly asking again, "What did you just say?" The woman gives no answer, just laughing like a maniac as the cops drag her out. Immediately after, Lu Nhyn's phone starts ringing. Her assistant's panicked voice comes through the phone. "Boss, what do we do? The public outrage online is spiraling out of control right now. The company's stock is crashing non-stop, and our cash flow is stuck." Cash flow? Lu Nhyn immediately understands. Because she used straight cash to buy that gemstone at the auction for Mak Kai-bao, nearly draining all their working capital, but she still assumed the company was highly profitable and that the money would easily bounce back. Yet now, the assistant says they can barely handle the cash flow anymore. How could this happen? Lu Nhyn tries suppressing her intense anger, quickly unlocking her phone. The screen is flooded with entertainment, gossip, and countless videos across every platform. I am definitely not just some naive, foolish guy. I am someone fueled by pure resentment. I once wanted to gather hard evidence and throw Louis in prison. But then I uncovered this massive, tangled web of people constantly covering for each other. Relying on my own strength alone really could not do a single thing. While that path failed, the habit of hoarding evidence is now carved deep into my bones. Gritting my teeth, I finally hit upload, dumping the hospital chaos video and the massive company fire footage online, along with the secret audio of Mak Kai Bao trapping me, sparking massive public outrage. The relentless online comments keep blasting them, telling that utter scum and his awful partner to go away forever. Stop tormenting Deep Fam right now. Just get a divorce and let the guy live in peace. Unbelievable that this kind of insane, messy drama actually happens in real life. Telling that trash and his whole terrible family to vanish for good. With hands visibly shaking, Lu Nu Yen finally opens the video. In the hospital, she collapsed straight to the floor, totally unconscious. Mak Kai Bao not only ran away, but he actually kicked her on his way out. It was me, the guy she always looked down on, who rushed in to shield her, taking a devastating blow and getting severely injured right there on the floor. I stubbornly refused to leave until I exhausted myself into a coma. The guards charged in to subdue the woman, and only then were we both rescued. And then Mak Kai Bao, after being safely saved, acted all kind by entering her room to care for her, even bribing the hospital staff to keep quiet. No wonder the bank card Lu Nu Yen gave Mak Kai Bao back then suddenly had such a massive expense slapped onto it. Thinking about how horribly she used to treat me, Lu Nu Yen slaps her own face hard, her tears pouring down endlessly. She opens another video, the chaotic scene of the company fire. Mak Kai Bao had already sprinted outside early, and to escape easily, he even locked the fire exit, letting the fierce flames completely swallow the building. I did not even have time to put on protective gear, rushing straight through the hot doors, running inside just to carry her out. When I finally pushed her out, a huge iron bar crashed down on us, knocking me out cold on the spot, barely alive. But right after that clip ends, another one starts. It shows Mick KBO grabbing the clothes I used to wear, standing in the company office, and setting them on fire. He gritted his teeth. Who gave you permission to wear my clothes? He tossed the clothes into a corner and walked off, completely missing, the flames catching the curtains and spreading to the documents. The whole office floor burned down. Lu Nhyn is practically shaking with absolute rage. Mick KBO had actually lent me that outfit. Terrified he'd be mad, she even handed him a black card to spend. However, he wanted, but staring at the man in this footage, his face twisted with pure malice, she suddenly felt like she didn't even recognize him anymore. She takes 2 steps back, her eyes brimming with utter disappointment. So Dip PHM didn't steal your credit after all, you stole his. She tells him he's become a massive disappointment. How could he turn into something like this? Mick KBO grips the table, realizing it's totally over. Right then, my mother-in-law tries to smooth things over. What are you doing? It's really no big deal. You're pregnant right now. Lu Nhyn just laughs in pure despair, immediately turning to leave. She absolutely cannot keep this unborn child. Terrified, my mother-in-law screams and rushes to stop her. Lu Nhyn accidentally shoves her to the ground, and she instantly blacks out. Lu Nhyn drops everything and rushes my mother-in-law straight to the hospital. Mick KBO tries to pack up and run, but gets dragged along too. My mother-in-law hit her head, and since her health was already pretty fragile, this fall revealed a blocked blood vessel in her brain. Looking absolutely awful, she still heads straight to the surgery room to request an abortion. But here's where it all flips. The doctor comes out and tells her, Miss Lu, you aren't actually pregnant. Locking eyes with Mick KBO, she finally loses it completely, grabbing him tightly by the throat. Is absolutely anything you say actually real? He thrashes around, his face turning purple, before she finally releases him a long moment later. Right in front of him, she calls her assistant. She fires Mick KBO on the spot, and instantly leaks the news everywhere. Anyone who dares hire him from now on is declaring war on the Lu family. Hearing this, he collapses to the floor in total panic. No, you can't treat me like this. This was basically cutting off his only path to survival. She kicks him out and stays behind to look after her mother. Later, she tries calling Lu Wei but gets no answer. She frowns hard at the powered-off screen. Absolutely everything is just falling apart right now. Her mind drifts back to me, remembering every single little detail of how much I cared for her. So she dials my number. She's already planned out her whole speech, admitting she was wrong, begging me not to go through with the divorce. She was going to say she finally realized I'm the one she truly loves. But my phone wouldn't connect either. Pushed to the absolute edge of anxiety, she drives straight to our old place. But it's completely empty, and the car outside is gone too. That feeling of dread in her chest grows sharper. She immediately gets someone to check the security cameras. But right at that exact moment, her phone rings. Hello, is this Miss Liu? The absolute worst news drops Louis, and I had an accident. The car went off a cliff. Completely destroyed. No survivors. She threatens them for joking around, and angrily hangs up, refusing to believe it. You know what happens next. The dashcam footage arrives. She watches helplessly as I drive straight into the guardrail. She completely collapses to the ground, letting out this agonizing scream. How could this possibly happen? Everyone starts saying Liu Nhyn has officially lost her mind. Like a total lunatic, she rushes straight to the crash scene, clutching my mangled body and sobbing uncontrollably. Her grandfather, Louis, sat in the back seat, a tree branch straight through his head. Already gone. She just holds onto me so tightly, completely refusing to let go. Only now, at the very end, does she finally realize the truth. Through all those days we spent together, she'd already fallen in love with me. But that's not exactly the truth. After that leaked footage goes viral, netizens online start mocking her relentlessly, saying she only ever loved her own damn self. Whoever saves her, she loves. Right now, she's just realizing her precious first love is totally dead. And she absolutely cannot handle the harsh reality of it. That harsh comment actually gets a ton of people agreeing. On top of that, all the dirty things Louis did get dug back up. More and more families he once threatened and ruined are stepping forward to expose him. Public opinion turns, completely boycotting the Liu family's entire corporation. Their stocks just keep crashing down. At the shareholder meeting, every single vote passes to strip Liu Nhyn of her power. She lives in a hazy panic, laughing and crying erratically in her house day and night. Until this very day. The hospital calls to say my mother-in-law's medical bills are due, but she doesn't have a single penny left. She has no choice but to bring her home. A brain infarction patient who can't care for herself, left entirely to a woman like her. It doesn't take long before she completely breaks down under the weight of it all. My mother-in-law soils the bed and calls out for her, but Liu Nhyn just smashes a wine bottle straight at her, while she cries out miserably. Back when DipPHM was still around, he did exactly what I told him, never complaining a single time. Now, I ask you to care for me and you're annoyed? Why did I even give birth to you? Driven absolutely insane, Liu Nhyn screams right back. You just shut your mouth. Ever since she completely cut ties with the people who used to bully me, her mental state has become incredibly unstable. Now, she can't even stop taking her rage out on my mother-in-law. She heads back to my old room, accidentally spotting a medical diagnosis sitting on the desk. Honestly, I always left it right there, but she simply never cared about me, never even stepped into my room, so she just had absolutely no idea. Her tears slowly hit that medical report. A massive wave of pure, crushing regret completely washes over her right then. She cries upstairs, loudly, thinking she deserves the absolute worst, completely unaware that a dark figure is slowly creeping up right behind her at this exact moment. Watch this twist. Mo Chabao is now completely jobless and homeless, looking like an absolute mess. He charges straight at Liu Ruyan with a blade, swinging right at her neck without a single second of hesitation. Just go to hell. Liu Ruyan turns around, immediately locking onto his incredibly hateful glare. The guy who used to be her loving partner has fully turned into her worst enemy. Liu Ruyan grabs her severely injured neck, throwing out a massive kick that instantly sends Mo Chabao flying far away. He hits the ground, coughing violently. After failing so many job interviews, he heavily drank at the bars, only to end up being horribly humiliated by others and catching a highly contagious, ruinous illness along the way. He deeply hates Liu Ruyan down to his very bones, but his frail body simply cannot keep up, letting her easily seize the moment to completely overpower him. She calls the cops, and Mo Chabao eventually gets locked up on serious charges of intentional assault. As for Liu Ruyan, because she took severe damage to a major artery, her entire left side ends up completely paralyzed, ultimately unable to handle losing absolutely everything alongside her. Completely ruined reputation, she jumps off a building to end it all, still tightly clutching our old wedding ring in her hand. As for my mother-in-law, with nobody left to care for her, she gets tossed into a nursing home where staff harshly mistreat her every single day. As for those precious antiques and ancient texts I mentioned right before my passing, I had actually quietly donated all of them a very long time ago. After all that, the students I once helped out, and those kids who received my charity, step up one by one to speak out in my honor. I am laid to rest in a remarkably quiet, peaceful cemetery, right beside my parents. Every single year on my anniversary, people still come to visit me. They always tell me they hope my next life brings a truly kind partner and a perfectly happy, complete family.